Right, so it's another month, and that means there's a new Recruitment Pass, and this month Jaime has been added to it, which means he has been awakened, and Jaime has been a commander that a lot of people have been waiting on for a very, very long time. He's one of those with total attack, so a lot of people were theorizing that he was going to be very, very strong. I know a lot of people were suspecting he'd be a Leila Mormont equivalent for males with the synergy with active abilities. It turns out that isn't the direction they went with his 4-star. They actually added synergy with quite a new introduction to the game, which I'm personally a little bit skeptical towards, but I'll get into my thoughts about that in a bit. So first of all, his stats, he's literally a Leila copy-paste. At max, he'll have 39.6% total attack, 74% spear health, and 76% spear defense, which is the same that Leila has with the total attack and then the defensive stats just for Cav instead. He does also have very good tavern stats. He has both leadership and combat rate, so adding an extra star to him there on both of them at 2 stars is actually very, very high value, especially now you can potentially go above level 60 with Awakening in the Tavern, because you actually now gain an extra 5 maximum levels per Awakening star. So if you have him 1 star, you can take him to 65, and then 70 for 2 stars, 75 for 3 stars, and 80 for 4 stars, and it'll be 5,000 experience for every level past 60. So I'm pretty sure barring Theon, he is now the best epic token Awakening in terms of tavern stats alone, and he has total attack, which is obviously very strong for spear front. He's going to be great with those spear defensive stats. But the thing with Jaime, I think, that has been spoken about for a very, very long time is what will his 4-star be. So it's very, very long in its tooltip, and you can see it definitely is not a Leila equivalent. So when allied lineups receive healing, now that means the healing has to be done in combat, and there is very, very few things that actually trigger this to my knowledge in the game currently. So I'm pretty sure it's just Enzo, Lats, and Drake's 4-star abilities. What you can see here, they proc heals every 3 seconds later in the fight, and Enzo and Lats have the exact same 4 stars. They just have different stats, obviously. They're single troop type commanders. And there is also the new dragon skill that got released in the Legion skill event, Together in Winter, or whatever it's being called right now, which has a similar effect of the in-combat healing. But that alone, there is a very, very high entry barrier to actually getting use out of this skill, because it's only allied lineups receiving healing, which does anything, and the only way to do that is through incredibly highly paid content. So you need a 300 fragment dragon skill, which would cost approximately like 3,000 to 5,000 black diamonds probably, depending on how efficient you're buying it and your luck. Or 4-starring Enzo, Lats, or Drake, which is 600 epic tokens, which if you're just buying from the VIP store is what, like 3.5 million diamonds I think it is, and obviously months of buying to even get there. Plus they're single troop type buff commanders, so if you're using Drake for example, you're probably not going to be using Enzo or Lats as well, because if you have the money to have all 3 of them 4-star, you're probably going to have Leila 4-star, Annie 4-star, Julian 4-star, maybe Salma now 4-star, you might have the Johns, the Cerseys. You don't need to be running multiple of those single troop type commanders, because you're losing so much value in their buffs, because they have such high health and defense buffs, and their troop type that they're buffing won't be on the front line if you're running multiple of them, for one of them at least. But then back to Jaime's tooltip, their normal attack changes to weakness attack. When in the weakness attack status, the allied lineup prioritizes attacking the enemy lineup with the most troops lost and cannot miss. So That reads kind of interestingly, because it reads like, in the current system, it will just be lineup 1 attacks lineup 1, and then 2 hits 2, 3 hits 3, and so on. This reads like these weakness attack lineups could, if it's in lineup 2, it will attack lineup 1, and then if you can kill that row quicker, you can potentially kill the entire row, and then the commander will die, or just lose troops to proc its active off, and then you'll reduce their damage that way, which I guess is a new interaction with this new combat system. And then the cannot miss bit, I'm pretty sure the only thing this will have any interaction with is Cersei's 4-star. So Cersei's 4-star, blah blah blah, the normal attacks of enemies hit by wildfire will have a 20% chance of missing their target. Now if someone is a 4-star Cersei, probably anyone who's listening to this video, if you're fighting someone with that, you should probably just bubble. Like, I'm probably in the top 1% of accounts in the game, and if someone has a 4-star Cersei, I am not going anywhere near that. But sure, Jaime, I guess, has anti-4-star Cersei counterplay. If that's his niche, that is very, very niche indeed. But that is the situation, I guess. Then the attack deals an additional 3% damage and increases subsequent weakness damage taken by the hit lineup in this battle by 3%. The additional damage taken by multiple weakness attacks in battle can be stacked with no limit. So you can stack that quite high, I guess, but the healing effects are limited, like I've said, so you just won't be able to stack it that much. Plus with the like Drake and Enzo and Lats effects, this won't even happen until I think at least like 18 seconds into the fight, and that's basically half the fight gone already. So I don't know, I don't like it. I don't think it's very good at all. Perhaps the changing attack target, or that prioritizes attacking the enemy lineup with the most troops lost, could in practice be more effective than it just reads there. I could see that being the case, but just on the face of it, in terms of being competitive with the top epic token commanders right now, I don't think he's really there, to be honest. I don't think he's better than like Leila for sure. I don't think he's better than Salma at all. I wouldn't pick him over Julian or Annie either, really. And you can obviously only run 5 commanders in your lineup, so he's not female, so he doesn't have all that synergy with the like Annie, Leila, and now Salma combo, and also Arya, who is the best free-to-play awakening, plus she has the active ability synergy whilst being female, which has her in that lineup really, really well. So I honestly don't think Jaime is that good, disappointingly, to be honest. I got him to 2-star just for the tavern stats, but I think there's much better things for you to realistically spend your epic tokens on. Like, obviously if you're a max account, you can just buy up everything, you can run him into those Cersei situations and get value there, but for 99.9% of us, I think it's just 2-star and leave him, honestly. Spend elsewhere. I think there's been quite a few awakenings since my last tier list I made as well for epic awakenings. So there's Jaime, there's Melisandre, there is Drake, I guess, although he's like a copy-paste of Lats and Enzo. There's also Salma as well, so I think I'm going to do an updated video on that. Look out for that and see where I put Jaime, because I'm not that high on him at all. I mean, he is undeniably pretty decent. If you're running Spearfront, for example, there is the situation where Annie gives like spear tankiness with the health by default, and now Jaime does as well. So potentially Spearfront could get a little bit better with this for like the high-end rallying situations, with like an Annie, Jaime, Drake setup. But again, there's like 2 male commanders there. If you run Julian, that's another one. And it seems the meta for top mid-spender at least awakening setup, so it is all about these female commander active damage synergies, which Jaime just does not play into at all. His only synergy is with very high entry barrier paid content, which I'm not even convinced is that good in the first place.